I define Liga MX as the shoot your shot league.
You do expect higher performances and better things from Club Americas, but it's the inconsistencies.
Isn't this inconsistent though?
I will maintain that the U.S. men's national team came out to the knockout round despite terrible coaching.
Like, they have a student discount maybe to go to Pumas games? Like, they got it, right?
No.
To take that next step, I think it's still undisputed that you have to go to Europe.
He's going to be on the ground for the majority of the time. No,
I
look back at highlights.
That's the Christian Pulisic treatment, though.
Same.
We're going to have to stop this. We're going to start arguing on this podcast, aren't we?
Welcome back to the Real Futbol Show. I'm Geno Gonnello, as always, joined by Edwin Garcia. Edwin, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm just gonna put this banner up. It's a great day to be an American soccer fan. How are you doing today?
Pledge allegiance to the flag. It's fantastic. Great news to wake up to this morning. Exciting and we knew it was coming. I kind of all felt like just waiting, but I had no idea it was happening today. Totally, genuinely, happily surprised by the developments.
Yeah.
Today, so.
Yeah, I got out of the gym and I just saw one of our coworkers, Scott's message in the Slack channel, and I was like, let's go. Huge moment for those of you who do not know. Folarin Balogun, who is the Arsenal loanee, on loan at Reims in France. He's got 19 goals, 34 appearances over there. He had a choice between England and the United States today. He officially chose the United States, and FIFA officially approved that decision. We obviously have a lot to talk about today, MLS, Liga MX, but this is the story of the day, the story of probably the week, the story of probably the next few months as we get into June with a lot of U.S. men's national team opportunities for him. Let's start here, Edwin. What is getting a guy like this? What does getting Balogun mean for the United States men's national team?
Well, first of all, I was at the gym too, and when I got the news, but yeah, maybe. I think this is fantastic news. What was the one big question mark we had throughout the entire World Cup? Was who's our number 9? Why didn't we bring Pepe? Why is Ferreira there in that crucial game? Why didn't we bring Vasquez? Why didn't we do this? It was a lot of questions, and we didn't have questions about Tyler Adams, Musa. We didn't have question about our defense, even though at the beginning when we brought in Tim Ream, when we had selected him, we had some questions there, but he delivered. Everybody performed well, but the whole tournament, the whole World Cup, all the buildup for 4 years led up to us just questioning, that one position. What's happening there? And then Gio Reyna took some of the attention away from that with his little drama. But again, that was the big question mark. And now we have, at least in theory, we have some answers and we have some really good stuff in place to make us excited about this run up coming up now. And hopefully the World Cup when we have it here in the States could be a bigger celebration than we had initially thought we'd have. So I'm excited. This is fantastic news, and it's a great day to be an American soccer fan.
Yeah, it is really great news for the United States men's national team. Once again, despite the fact not having a coach, they're able to complete another coup here. They could be able to complete another coup here with Balogun coming over to the United States men's national team. Again, let's preface all of this by saying, who knows what could happen with him? Who knows? He is a very talented player, but he's only 21 years old, and he's never played with these players before, and it may take a little bit for him to get used to, and a little bit of a learning curve for him to get to the point where we need him to be. But to have a player of his stature come to the United States men's national team in a position that we desperately needed to find some answers in, it is absolutely massive for the United States men's national team. And now when you look at the number 9 position, the depth immediately gets better because everybody drops down, right? So Balogun is the guy probably right now, right? He is the number 9. He's the guy that's going to come in and start in that position. You know that he's going to be on the team sheet come June. It's just inevitable at this point. It's been pretty.
It is inevitable.
Yes, it is. It is pretty clear.
Yeah.
But after him, it goes to, then you have Ricardo Pepi, Brandon Vasquez, Josh Sargent, and all of a sudden you find the Haji Wrights and the Jesus Ferreras at the bottom of that pecking order.
Yeah.
And it makes, instead of having, again, we don't know what Balogun will be, but instead of having that question mark up top, we know who the number 9 will be come June, come the Nations League match against Mexico, which is something we could not say for a very long time. And that's massive for the United States.
That's massive, massive, massive. There's some guys today that are probably not happy. The Brendan Vasquez, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
They've had a rough go, but I'd rather have competition breeding the best out of people with people that I know. We wanted Pepi. We wanted Brandon Vasquez. We have good faith in them, but throwing in Balogun into the mix is going to bring out the best in all of them. And I want whoever is the best out of all of them. It could be Balogun is the hot guy right now, but if Ricardo Pepi sees this as an opportunity to step up, elevate, and take his game to the next level and be the guy, hey, great, then it's a win for everybody. Mm-hmm. But can we talk about Balogun's? I'm having an issue here with the name. I don't know. I can't. I feel like I butcher a lot of names here. Balogun, but it's Folarin Balogun. But when I went on the U.S. men's national team, when I go on the U.S. men's national team Twitter, they tweeted out Flo, F-L-O. So I'm assuming that's the nickname, but it seems kind of like, all right, a little confusing there. So I don't know. Can we just make a decision now on what we want to call him so I don't feel...
We're going to call him Flo. We're going to call him Flo. That's the nickname. Okay. That's what we're going with. We're going with Flo because that's sick. And I would, like I told you before the show, if you made me bet my entire life savings on this, I would have said it was Folarin Balogun. So shows how much I know about his name. His first name, but we don't need to know. Listen, we don't need to know his first name as long as he scores the goals and the last name goes on the score sheet. That's all that matters. But yes, I mean, again, you got to look at it this way, right? It's like the only 4 strikers that I ever want to see on a U.S. men's national team roster for the time being that we know of right now should be Flo, Folarin Balogun.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Vasquez, Josh Sargent, or Ricardo Pepi. Those are the only 4 I want to see on the sheet, provided that 2 of them aren't injured. Because obviously you'll only probably take 3 in a typical window. Provided 2 of them aren't injured, I only want to see those names.
Everyone else, get out of my life. Get out of my life, everybody else.
The guys.
Yes.
Pepi's having a great season. He's got 12 goals, 3 assists in the Eredivisie right now in 27 appearances. That's really good. That's very good. Vasquez hasn't been great in the MLS, which is, again, kind of feeling the pressure maybe a little bit of having to be that. Maybe now he steps his game up. Maybe we see it in the MLS.
What I want.
Let's see what he does. Yep. And Josh Sargent, as we know, he's in the championship. He's probably in the last of that, which is a shame. I really did what he did in the World Cup. I appreciated, but I still find that talent-wise and what he can do, it doesn't really add up to the to be in that top 3 tier right now. We'll see though.
But he's in the mix.
He's in the mix.
He's in the mix.
I like it. But it is an unbelievable coup. It is really good for the United States. I saw somebody put out a United States men's national team potential roster with him, right?
Ooh.
And it had the typical players. It had Tim Ream in center back, which I don't necessarily see. I feel like Miles Robinson will end up taking over that position.
You got to give props to Daddy though, bro.
Got to give props to Ream.
He held it down. He had a great Premier League season. So yeah.
But it had Reyna on the right wing, which I have my own. I absolutely love Timmy Weah, so on that right wing, so I would prefer him. But I mean, again, the thing is that the point I'm trying to make is when I looked at that roster, it's like everywhere, but I think except right back. You can plug in a couple names there and you're like, this kid's good. This kid's good. You know, in the midfield, we have MMA, but we have, you know, Paredes, we have Malik Tillman, we have Paxton Aronson, Brendan Aronson. Like, the midfield is stacked from all aspects. And now we can say the same, I think, about that number 9 position, which is great. Yeah. So just very excited.
And all these guys are going to get, they're all young by the time the next World Cup rolls
like
around,
Ricardo
man.
He's 20 years old. He's actually younger than Balogun. He's younger than Balogun. But, you know, I think the big point that everybody was making is we now can say we have a striker in one of the top 5 leagues. Again, it is Liga MX. You know, take it with a grain of salt. It's not the best league.
Bro.
But
man. Big deal.
we have a striker in one of the top 5 leagues who's producing in the top 5 leagues. So
that's the big key.
That's huge. So absolutely great for the U.S. men's national team. Just really good stuff. And obviously we'll follow the story as it continues to move forward. Go ahead.
Let me ask you. I want to ask you though. Let's obviously we have our affinity for U.S. men's national team, and we have our reasons for wanting him to come here and choosing us. But let's look at this real quickly before we move on. I do want to ask, what do you feel as far as, is this the best decision for him? You know, leaving England and making this big move. Like, how do you feel about this? There has been some questions brought up about this online, and people are, you know, wondering. So I just kind of want to know what your thoughts on this are.
Well, yes, our coworker Lizzie, she has a little bit more of reservations, which I understand. I understand her reservations completely. I get them. I think she's right when she says it. You know, the project with the U.S. men's national team is very unclear right now. There's no set style of play. There's no coach right now. We just hired a sporting director. It's a lot of still up in the air. But I think personally for the U.S. men's national team, or for Balogun, his opportunities with the U.S. men's national team and the opportunity to become a legend for the U.S. men's national team is much greater than his opportunity to become a legend for, let's say, the English national team. When you look at the English national team, that striker position is stacked. I mean, Tammy Abraham's not getting any games right now, and he's firing on all cylinders for Roma. He's been very, very good for them. So, you know, I think, well, yes, it's an opportunity to get an immediate, as Lizzie said on Twitter, it's an opportunity to get an immediate starting role in a team.
Yeah.
I think it's more than that too, because if he goes out there and he wins stuff and he scores and he goes out there and he is, you know, ends up getting us far in the 2026 World Cup, right? And he is a centerpiece of this team moving forward. He will be a much bigger legend in the eyes of U.S. men's national team fans than if he did that same exact thing, no matter what it is, the same exact thing for England, because it's been done before. They have those legends. Yeah. The United States national team is growing, and it's growing, and it's still very young in terms of the growth that it has with the talent, the youth, the current golden generation. There's an opportunity to check a lot more boxes, not only for your personal self, but for the country of the United States on a soccer field for men's soccer than there would be for England over if he played for England and waited and possibly didn't even get that opportunity because of the stacked field that they have over there in England.
Yeah. I think I agree. You nailed it with the Tommy Abraham comparison. It's a very proper, good comparison of what's happening over there. But let's not kid ourselves here either. Okay, this was low hanging fruit. You know, for Flo, this was low hanging fruit. It's like, hey, I'm gonna go. If I make this announcement here, if I say that I'm staying in England, it's a footnote in England. You know, and they'll talk about it for a little bit in the States, but then it's gone. It's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna stay in the news cycle. Now he comes over here, he becomes the man. He's clout chasing. Obviously, he's got this whole big promotional campaign, everything. This is great attention for him, but now he has to deliver. He has to, and like you said, and like how Lizzie pointed out, maybe this isn't the best structured place right now for him to play as far as like what England has going on. But again, these are cycles. There's going to be a ramp up. There's going to be time. It's not like we need this guy to deliver tomorrow because the game is tomorrow and he just made his decision. He's going to appear. Now, I do like a little bit of the swagoo that he's bringing. with the whole putting out the video, and he's really like enjoyed the recruitment trip. It was kind of like an NIL deal here where he's coming in and they really gave him everything. I do appreciate that. I like that. He's got a little Zlatan in him in the sense that he's like really like enjoying this moment. Cool. Hey, have the moment. We need it. No one had taken this moment in in United States men's soccer. So this is great for you. Now you have time to deliver, but the microscope is going to be on him. The magnifying glass is going to be solely on him. This is great for Pepe. This is great for Vasquez, for them to see, how he handles that, and for them to capitalize if they see a window open up. But for him, I love it. Hey, give me all that swagoo. Give me all that cloud chasing. It's good. Right now, it's fine. If we're, because there could be the case where a couple of years from now, he's not even on the roster. This guy could flame out and we never hear about him again. And it's just, a footnote in our past. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't want somebody to get this take from, years from now and be like, look at that idiot who said he was never going to amount to anything. No. Get the full context here. I think I'm 100% on board with this. I got all my energy and all my love is for this to bloom into something great. But let's just, take it for what it is. This was low-hanging fruit. He's now in the news cycle all day today and for the upcoming while now in the United States as the hero that, that is coming to save us. So, hey, that's fine. Yeah. Live up to it, buddy. I like it. So, let's go. Flow.
And again, we need to point out this. We have not seen him in U.S. men's national team jersey yet.
So they posted out the pictures yet.
Well, I know, but we haven't seen him on the pitch. We haven't seen him on the pitch in the U.S.
He looks good in the new kit, though. He does look good in the new kit.
He does look good. He does. He makes it look so much better. No, but we haven't seen him on the pitch in the U.S. men's national team jersey yet. But I just feel like his style of play fits the wingers that the United States men's national team have.
Oh, yeah.
There's not much. I'd have to go through the stats. I haven't looked at them. But it seems like he's a speedy guy, a guy who makes some good runs. And I think that's what the United States men's national team is, to create chaos in front of other defenses. Because the wingers that we have are not crossers of the ball.
No.
Or they're not crossers of the ball. It's just, unless you have a striker who's going to be able to pass as well. Like, you need someone who's going to make the runs in behind, where Pulisic's cutting this way, Balogun's cutting that way, and it opens up a hole or something like that. And, you get a winger that's kind of, that's what I see. And that's why I don't really, we'll see what it plays out as. That's why I like Timmy Weah better, because I just like his pace on that right side.
I love it.
But yeah, it's just, I think his style of play may fit the United States men's national team really, really well. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And we'll have to see who the coach is. We'll have to see what formation they run. There's a lot to be determined.
And he's in Ligue 1, so he's got to finish that up and continue over there. We got MLS over here, so let's focus on that. Yeah,
let's focus. Let's shift over to the MLS. I mean, rivalry week this past weekend, which is always fun. Brings a lot of storylines. We've had a couple, big results. But we should focus on two mainly. Let's start out in the Cali Classico over in it was in LA, right? I think it was in LA. I don't think it was in the Bay. But LA Galaxy taking on San Jose. San Jose obviously been one of the good surprises of the season, as our colleague Lizzie mentioned at the beginning of the season, that she thought we got to give her props. But the Galaxy, and obviously the Galaxy have been on the bad end of the MLS this season. Yeah. So coming in, you'd expect San Jose to beat the Galaxy, but it was not the case.
MLS, man. Everything's weird. Everything's weird this season. That should be the slogan.
Galaxy that should be this. Everything's weird.
Soccer. Everything's weird.
The Galaxy come out though with a 2-1 win, which is very big for them. They managed to create opportunities. They managed to hold San Jose relatively quiet for most of the game. What is this? Who does this result say more about? LA Galaxy or San Jose?
I think it says more about the Galaxy. San Jose's been struggling on the road. They've been very good at home, struggling on the road. Kind of a letdown because they had the big win against LAFC last week at Levi Stadium. And then you go to, which I'm a little disappointed. First of all, can we appreciate that we had Sunday night MLS action? Fantastic. Can we props to the Galaxy for wearing those beautiful green uniforms? Love that. That was fun. But yo, LA fans, I was very disappointed in the fandom. Okay, that stadium looked pretty empty for a primetime Sunday night game. That's not good. I didn't like that. And you had a game that delivered. You had a game that had a lot of action. You had the ebbs and flows. You had everything. I didn't like that the fandom wasn't there. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe at the actual game it wasn't as noticeable. But on TV, I saw a lot of little empty seats, especially as the game started. But the action, the fact that we had Sunday night, it was fantastic. I loved it. I do have something to point out. I'm going to give you 2 big points from the game. Riqui Puig had a fantastic game. Fantastic game. He played incredible. He was all over the place, but MLS doesn't get enough credit for being doesn't get enough recognition. I don't know if it's recognition or credit. What's the word I'm looking for here? But it's very physical. MLS is a very physical league. Not to mention the fact that it's played in the summertime where it's extremely hot. The weather conditions are much more adverse than, let's say, like Premier League or Ligue 1 or like any of these other leagues. But Riqui Puig was getting manhandled at times. Like, he's bouncing off these guys in between a couple of these big dudes here in the midfield, and he's really taking a beating. But props to him, man. He kept fighting. He kept playing really hard. He had a fantastic game. I was very, very impressed with him. I also have a lot of expectation for Riqui. I want him to do well. I think he's a great player. I think he's great for the league. But my other big takeaway, Chicharito, I'm sorry. Like, you look like the old guy out there in Sunday League who's like, hey, I'm good. Yeah. And like, all your friends are like, hey, yeah, man, bro, he was really good back in the day, man. Just give him time. And then every ball that you feed him, he's just like, he just eats it, like kicks it off his own face and stuff. I felt like that was him. He had about 4 or 5 chances in the game to score. Like, I'm talking good passes, good finishes, either was too slow to get there, could not finish, tripped over himself, or just kicked it right at the goalie. I didn't like anything that he brought to the game. And then, of course, they sub him out, and 49 seconds later, I think was the actual clock, Joveljic, his replacement, comes in and scores a goal. Like, again, I couldn't have proven my point any better that Chicharito couldn't do what he was doing until you subbed him out and you brought in Joveljic, and he goes in there and less than a minute later does what this guy couldn't do. So,
but Joveljic, dude only scores off the bench.
Yeah, he's been having his opportunities. Yeah,
they should just play Chicharito for a minute and then bring him off the bench. He'll probably score a hat trick.
Maybe that could possibly work. I mean, I think
legitimately only scores off the bench. It's wild.
Wild, very wild. And the celebration. What do you give the celebration? Did you like it?
The celebration? I thought it was a solid celebration. He got the yellow card.
Did it warrant taking off the jersey though? You thought that might have been a little excessive?
I think the taking off the jersey probably, it wasn't like a game-winning goal.
Yeah, because they scored that other one late. That put them up 2-0 at the time.
After this one, they went up 2-0 with the Joveljic goal.
Yeah, that was pretty. Like, I guess when you're like, at the bottom of the table and you're having a bad season, you finally like, hey, we're up 2-0. Yes, let's go. Like, I guess you got to go nuts and take off the jersey there. Maybe that's the reason why.
I don't know. I mean, it just seems like a needless yellow card to get, especially with how they accumulate and just just giving yourself like. In a big moment where you're like, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's like taking the pressure off a little bit where it's like 1-0 and 2-0 you go up and you're finally going to get another win. It's like, maybe that's what it was. But yeah, I mean, I thought, Galaxy played much better than we've seen them play for a majority of this season in the games. As always, this team runs and goes as Riqui Puig goes. When he plays well, they play well. It's the defining factor. I mean, again, I thought a big step in the right direction was the defense. This Galaxy defense has been leaking goals. They haven't been very good. It seemed the communication was better. They didn't really give San Jose many opportunities. This was largely an LA Galaxy control game. But the team goes as Riqui Puig goes. And if they can just keep getting him to get these types of performances, they could be very good. It's just he doesn't put them in consistently enough. And I think that's a major problem for the LA Galaxy. But I think you're right. I think this says a lot about the Galaxy to go in there, grab the victory, especially with how times have been. But I don't think if you're a San Jose fan, could be a little hangover from being LAFC.
If you're in San Jose, you got to be disappointed. You dropped the ball, man. You dropped the ball. You just
disappointed.
took out you took out LAFC. You played great, and then you couldn't and it wasn't like LAFC. I mean, San Jose was playing really well the whole game. Like they had their little
they played
moments, and then the late goal.
In fairness, missing. I mean, not that it's the entire team, but missing Cade Cowell due to the U20 World Cup. Mm-hmm. So that is a major player in their team. That shouldn't really change them as much as it did change them. But we'll give them we'll give them that. But yeah, I mean, San Jose, you gotta come out and win this game. But I have a problem with the scheduling though, giving them back-to-back LA games. I mean, that's like high pressure games back-to-back weeks. Big intensity.
That's what you're California, man. Like the Californias, man. You get up on the 9 and take it down the pike, like that SNL bit. I love it, man. And look, they got what? They have 3 teams right now in California, with the 4th one coming here, with the rumors of or not yet confirmed, but San Diego's out there that they're gonna be the next team. You got 4 teams. You got to play NorCal, SoCal takes a dub. And we proved nothing because San Jose won the first one against LAFC, but then they lose to Galaxy, so we have nothing proven there. We don't know who's the king of California. But anyway, it's enough California there, man. Let's go to the other coast.
It's enough. It's enough California. Let's move on to
about something happened in my backyard.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's change coasts. Go over from Western Conference West Coast play all the way to the East Coast in Florida. Inter Miami took on New England this past weekend. And once again, at home, Inter Miami find a way to get a win. They win 2-1. Josef Martinez back on the score sheet. David Ruiz is on the score sheet for the first time ever. It's his first MLS goal. 18 years old, right? 18 or 19. He's a teenager still.
19.
And gets an assist as well on the Martinez goal. Tell me about it. Your feelings on the Inter Miami performance.
Look, I'm happy as a Miami fan that we won, but every win that we do also is like an extension on the Phil Neville. And I'm off the Phil Neville train. I'm not excited about him anymore. I can't make excuses for him, but dang it, somehow the team won. So here we are. That's a nice little run of form there for Inter Miami. It's a big win for Inter Miami. This is the number 1 team going into that game. New England was number 1 in the Supporters Shield, number 1 in the East, obviously. And they came in pretty healthy, not missing any of their big stars. They came in expected to win. And Miami they get on the board early. Goal in the 6th minute by the youngster. And then there was a disallowed goal. Then there was the Carlos Gil. I don't know how they pronounce his name. Gil. I like it. Look, man, he had a great game. New England should have played better. They should have won this game. They didn't. I think it's more telling of Inter Miami's resilience that they haven't been phased, considering because there's been so much attention on Inter Miami. So many people talking, whether it's the coach, the team, the messy rumors that we're not even going to get into. There's all this unwanted extracurricular stuff around Inter Miami, but they go in on Saturdays, and when they're at home, they feel very comfortable and they have good games and they win. So I got to give credit where credit's due there. Inter Miami pulled it off. The story here to me is a couple of things. Obviously, the Ruiz having his, coming out. I think it was his second start, having the great game. And then there's Josef Martinez, again, scoring. Here we go. Two games in a row with the goal. We talked about it last week. Are we going to start seeing those wheels, that gear, getting into gear and those wheels going in motion? Are we starting to see that? Man, that was super cliche. I apologize for that. Hitting you with back-to-back cliches there. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we're starting to see something. Can he build off of it? 2 games, 2 goals, 3 goals in 2 games. All for it. Let's give me some more Martinez. And I think if you're an MLS fan, whether you're a jilted Atlanta fan that, lost Martinez, or just a casual guy like you up north, you can appreciate a guy like Martinez having, these kind of games and hopefully carrying and bringing good, proper attention to the league, man, because he's a star. So let's keep it going.
Yeah, I think this is really good for Inter Miami. I mean, back-to-back wins against teams in the top 4 of the East. Atlanta obviously struggling a little bit, but still in that top 4. And then New England, who is the best team in the league if you go by points and Supporters Shield. I think it's interesting. It beat Columbus, who again been struggling a little bit. But it's interesting. They found a way to play without possession, because in the last 3 games they haven't really controlled much of the game. It's been 30% possession against Columbus, 45 I think, or 44 against Atlanta, and 42 against New England. Like they haven't really had much of the possession, or they haven't had the the majority of the possession in any of those games, and they found a way to win. And it seems like that 2-goal margin is where you need to get in Miami wins.
Yeah.
Every single one of their wins has come when they've scored 2 goals, and every single one of their losses, except for one, they've not scored a single goal. So
there you go. Good catch.
I guess it's easy as if one goes in, a second will go in, and you'll win the game. Because it's crazy the differences between their wins and their losses. And again, you look at Montreal, you look at Philadelphia. Both those teams at the beginning of the season were not very good. They had their struggles at the beginning of the season. Obviously now, if you look back at the schedule, they look much better of win. They look like much better wins because Phillies and Montreal are both starting to surge now. But to beat teams that have consistently been good throughout the season is a big step in the right direction. But the next step, we mentioned it on the last podcast, the next step is winning on the road. They have not won a single game on the road, I don't think. Or did they win in Columbus?
Oh, yeah, they won in Columbus. That was a big one.
In Columbus. That's the only game they've won on the road. Everything else has been a loss, not even a tie. They haven't grabbed any other points on the road.
No, we don't have any draws on the season. It's incredible. It's just heads or tails.
Yeah.
Are you gonna win or you're gonna lose? Okay.
Them and Montreal, I think, are the same. Them and Montreal, I think, are both 5-0-6. Yeah, they're both 5-0-6, which is very funny. But they got to figure out a way to win on the road. When they go away from Inter Miami, they have to figure out a way how to get results on a consistent basis, even if it's just a point. Draws on the road, wins at home will take you a long way. So they got to figure out how to do that. But it's a big step in the right direction for them. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say tomorrow night they're up in your favorite town, Nashville. So that's gonna be a great game.
Yes,
again, I don't want to pick against my team, but I don't see them winning in Nashville. Nashville coming off of I think they had a draw this week, if I'm not mistaken. But
they did.
That's Nashville at home, DC. Very good team. Yeah, Nashville at home, very good team. I'm not gonna bet against. Against DC. So we'll see.
And you got to keep in mind, it's not in hand over a lot of people, but Inter Miami currently have a game in hand over 3 of the top 4 teams in the East right now. Yeah. A win outside of Nashville puts them on 18 points. A win at Nashville would put them on 21 points. That's, again, we speculate a lot. I tend to speculate a lot, but things can turn very easily. And if they can get a couple wins here, turn things around a little bit, they could be in that position that we have said they should be in the top 4 of the East, because Atlanta's struggling. And, I think Atlanta's going to fall out of that top 4, and it's a matter of them and Philly right now to see who's going to secure that spot. But
the really, East is madness, though. The wild East is madness here. We got 7 teams with 15 points. So Inter Miami, as much as I like giving them props, they're in 6th place right now, okay? But if they were 1 point less, they'd be in 14th, okay? So it's a big drop here in standings here, so good for them.
Let's even say it this way, right? Let's say it this way. Let's play devil's advocate here and say 7 through 15 in the East win this week, and Miami loses. Miami's in last place.
Yeah.
That won't happen. It's not going to happen. But realistically,
you could have that kind of swing.
It is. Toronto's has 12 points. They're 3 points off 6th, which is where Miami is. So things are very volatile in the Eastern Conference, which we love. Very different from the West. The West kind of has their top team set right now. pulling away a little bit, but the East, once you get away from New England and Cincinnati, it's all up for grabs right now, which is great.
MLS, super weird.
MLS, super
I
weird.
Think that was the slogan.
Yeah, no, it's this season's been super weird. I think it is. Let's move over. We've been doing standout performers. We'll start with you. Who was your standout performer of the week?
Keeping it simple, man. I already mentioned them. I'm keeping it local again. Sorry. Last week I went West Coast. This week I'm going East Coast. I'm going David Ruiz, man. 19 years old. You step up. We gave a lot of props to Kramashi a few weeks ago when he was having his moment, and he's been playing great. But this kid comes in, scores a goal, assists on a goal to a legend. Like, that's a great week for you. I got to give props to the youth movement there. In a team full of stars and veteran guys, he stepped up, patiently waited for his opportunity. It opened, kind of like what we talked about with our boy Flo, to open the show.
Whoa.
He stayed back, waited for his opportunity, and he's taking advantage of it. So props to David Ruiz, man. Great game. My Catracho friend from Honduras there. I hope to see more and more, and I'd love to have him, continue this run of form. So good for him. That's my standout.
Yeah, really a great performance from him, and definitely worthy of that. For me, I'm going to go a little bit more fun with this one. My standout performer of the week is red cards. They 8 red cards this past week across 14 games. 2 in the 2 in the Philly Colorado game. Actually, I think there might have been one more because I believe Houston got 2 red cards. Yes, Houston got 2 red cards. So 9 red cards across 14 games this week. It's almost a red card a game.
Super. Love it.
So the red card stood out this weekend. A man down stood out this weekend. The referees not having it, to say the least, with the players and it, showed on the stat sheet with some red cards. So I'm going with that.
Nice.
Let's move over real quick to our game of the week. So this week's a little weird. So we have a midweek game. We have midweek games this week. We have weekend games. So we're just going to stick with Matchday 13, which is tomorrow. We've got 13 games on the slate. What is your game of the week?
And we got 13 games tomorrow, 14 on Saturday, 27 this week. Oh, it's crazy, but keeping it just for Wednesday. I like the Cincinnati-Montreal matchup this week. Cincy, now's your opportunity here. New England is not playing tomorrow, from what I recall. I have to double check. They're not playing tomorrow. So Cincy's moment to capitalize and take advantage. I don't know if let me see. Can I look it up here real quick? I don't see New England.
No,
they're not playing tomorrow.
Saturday.
They're playing Saturday. Cincy, look at me right here, Brandon Vasquez. I'm staring right at you in the camera. This is your moment. Go in there, capitalize, score some goals, take Cincinnati to the promised land, make them be number one, because I think they'll be number one in Supporters Shield too, because with a nice solid win. And they haven't, again, my biggest knock on Cincinnati all season has been they haven't had that win that even Miami has had with these 2-0 wins and these games. Give me a solid performance here, Cincinnati. Take it to Montreal, which is hot, and it'll be a respectable game because Montreal's been playing really, really well ever since they made that little trade with Inter Miami, and they swapped players. Both teams have benefited. Talk about a win-win for teams in a trade there, huh? Montreal's gone on a nice run since they got the guys. Inter Miami's done well. Worked out great for everybody. That's my the game that I'm looking forward to, and it's gonna be it's in Cincinnati, right? Yeah, it's in Cincinnati. Montreal's gonna have a tough task there, but let's see. Cincinnati, that's who I'm putting my my focus on them. I want to see them have a good game, even though Montreal, I love me some poutine.
Yeah, and this is the week that Cincinnati has the game in hand over New England. This is a real opportunity. They'll both be on 12 games after this week, so big opportunity for them. Montreal, like you mentioned, playing really, really well, like very well. They kept 4 straight clean sheets, just the 6 straight wins in all competitions.
They were dead in the water. They were dead in the water a month ago. Like we had
a month ago, we were talking about how they've let up like 70 goals in 3 games. They were like a 4-0 and a 5-0 back to back. But
coach was on the hot seat. Neville was on the hot seat. And look at that one trade, and they're good. Their job security's there. 2 other coaches got fired. Crazy, bro. Super weird. MLS, super weird.
MLS, super weird. Yeah, so that's going to be a really fun game and will really tell us a lot about a couple teams in the East, which we need some answers on. The other game that my game of the week is actually also in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be Philly versus DC, little rivalry match there.
Yeah.
Always a fun time. DC has been they've been chugging along. They're 9th right now, but a couple they lost in the midweek in the Open Cup, but other than that and a loss to Cincinnati in MLS play, they've been undefeated they've won the other 5 games that they've played. They've been keeping clean sheets. So it's going to be interesting to see how they manage a solid team like Philly. They've played over that stretch. They played Montreal, Orlando, Charlotte, Cincinnati, and Nashville. Cincinnati, the team they lost to, and really the only solid team they played. But now they get a chance against Philly, who's looked much better since bowing out of the CONCACAF Champions League, and now looks to be moving up the table some more. So it's going to be a big battle, a test to see where both of these teams are at. Is Philly at the level that they are used to being at? Are they back to the team that we're used to seeing? Or is DC United here to stay and a real, is Wayne Rooney, making them a real contender in the middle of that Eastern Conference? So that's what I'm looking for this weekend. So that's why this week, that's why Philly and DC is my game of the week. And we great. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's a great game because Philly wins. They're in the top 3. They're in the top 3, or potential to be top 3 team, especially after that lull that they had. And DC can get into that top 4 conversation with the win and leapfrog Philly if they win. So great game.
For sure. So moving on now to Liga MX to wrap things up. We finally got a win in our predictions.
Yeah!
I went 4-0. You went 3-1.
Yep.
We got the.
Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. We did great. Way to totally redeem ourselves here. Totally redeemed ourselves.
We got the matchups that I wanted. We've got two rivalry matches. Should
be finals. Just have them be the finals. They're each independent finals, right? Who cares overall? Those are 2 great finals right there.
We've got, it's going to be great. It's kind of crazy, again, as we've mentioned, these quick turnarounds in Liga MX. So we have Tigres versus Monterrey in one semifinal, the Clásico Regio, I believe it is called. That's what Lizzie told me.
Okay.
And then, of course, Club America, Chivas, which is a rivalry for the ages in Liga MX. That will take place on Thursday. So Tigres Monterrey will be Wednesday. The kickoff for that game is at 11 p.m. Eastern time. And then Club America Chivas is 10:10 on Thursday, 10:10 p.m. on Thursday. Again, these are 2-leg ties. So the second leg of these ties will be played on Saturday for Tigres Monterrey and Sunday for Club America and Chivas. I
see. Okay, I see that. I was looking at the wrong times. No, you're right. Okay, yeah. I'm like, wait, what time is that game? No, and this is gonna be fantastic here, and I'm looking forward to. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm butchering up what you're saying, so go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, really, Monterrey and Club America, relatively handy wins, but Chivas and Tigres kind of had to fight for theirs. Tigres went up 4-1 in their first leg, and thankfully they did because they lost 3-1 to Toluca in the second leg, or else that could have been a problem. And then Chivas and Atlas tied 1-1 on aggregate, and then finished it off, in
penalties.
In penalties, I believe was how they won that second one.
All right.
But yeah, so really good matchups. That's really awesome.
We got all right. Let's start over here because we got to bring better energy to this. This has been our moneymaker segment here, and we got to get excited here. Okay, we got the matchups that you wanted. Absolutely,
we got the matchups I wanted.
100%. But I'm going to ask you. You can only watch one of these games. Which one would you watch as this neutral? Because you're a Cruz Azul fan, and my Pachuca is out, right? Although I'm still a free agent technically. I'm open here. Monterrey, hit me up. But anyway, which game? If you could only watch one, which one would you watch? Monterrey Tigres, or are you gonna watch Chivas and Club America?
I'm probably watching Chivas and Club America. I think the Monterrey Tigres game I genuinely think Monterrey handles Tigres pretty well. I think it's going to be, I think it'll be probably end up being maybe like a 3-1, 4-1 on aggregate. But I think Monterrey and Tigres, I mean, it's a rivalry match, which is great. The fans will be up for it, but I think overall Monterrey is the better team. Chivas and Club America, I mean, I think, again, I think Club America comes out on top, but I think that's a much closer matchup than the other one. And I think there's just going to be a lot of really good football played there. Got a lot of talent on both sides, and it's going to be really fun to watch, that one. So that's the one I would go with. How about you? What do you got?
I think the Club America Chivas game is the most interesting to me to see it, just because I feel like, man, those teams hate each other. There's a real beef right there. But I want to see Monterrey at home. I love that stadium up in the mountain. That's the one that's up in the mountains, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yes, Monterrey is the beautiful stadium that you see in every beautiful stadium picture ever.
Exactly. So yeah, I just show me the game from that angle. Like really, where I just see little dots moving around, and I just it looks like a one of those Microsoft wallpapers in the background, and I'm just like, oh, okay. So I'd be all for that. But yeah, again, this is the dream matchup that you wanted. We get the games, the rivalry games here, and then guess what? We get one more after that because we'll have the final here with essentially, hopefully, the two best teams come out of this. I think. Yeah. I believe Club America is going for their 14th championship or title, and
that sounds about right.
Chivas is going for 13. I believe they're off by 1. So you got a lot on the line here.
There's a big swing. Chivas could tie it.
Yeah. So then, we could have some serious drama here. But I think I know who Lizzie is going for. I think she told me she was a big Tigres fan, right? That's what she said.
Yes, big Tigres fan. She loves Tigres.
Lizzie loves the Tigres. There you go. She's a big Gignac fan, so we'll leave it at that.
But no, yeah, it's going to be a great week. I have to ask. I do want to know. We've talked. First off, before we get to predictions, I just want to ask you one question. We've talked a lot about Santos Laguna over the past few weeks. Their firing of their coach at the end of the season. They pull off the upset, then they lose 2-0 to Monterrey in a very respectable manner. I mean, 2-0 to Monterrey over 2 legs is not bad. In your opinion, was the firing of the Santos Laguna coach worth what they got out of it?
In the short run, no. You ruined, anything that you had, any chemistry. Yeah, you got that one upset win to lead you into it, but then eventually you hit the disappointment, which was the inevitable, like we said earlier. It just you dropped the ball there. The whole timing was bad. I don't like it. It still didn't do anything, and it set you guys back. I think your best play was see if you were done with the coach. That's fine. You could even just let him ride out this season here, these playoffs. Let him see what he can inspire. He could be that coach that goes in there, guys, look, they're going to get rid of me. Can you give me one more run for me? They're going to get rid of me, win or lose, but I got one more run with you. I want to give you everything I got. Maybe that could have been a little more inspirational to the team, but in the end, it was, they got nothing out of it. And now you're just a waste. I feel like the playoffs just became a waste for them.
Yeah. I mean, you lost the final game of the season anyway, and you only got in the playoffs because Querétaro and Pumas, or Querétaro couldn't make the playoffs and Pumas lost. I mean, you backed your way into the playoffs either way, and then you do pull off the upset against Pachuca, but then you fall to Monterrey. I mean, so was the one win worth kind of breaking up the chemistry the team had? I mean, I know things weren't going well, but as we've mentioned, this Santos Laguna team was torn apart after the Apertura. I think they need to give him some time, and they didn't. Yeah. And they kind of, he went on a losing streak. And that was that. And I think, in my opinion, to fire a coach that late and to not really get much out of it and to barely make the playoffs based on a technicality, and then to fall in the playoffs, not even make the semifinals. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't expecting
a lot of Chelsea vibes.
Yeah, it's got a lot of. I wasn't expecting to do much anyway, though, right? It's like, were you expecting Santos Laguna to go far in the playoffs? I wasn't.
No, and so no. But if you're a fan, though, you got to be super disappointed, because I think anyone who's a fan, a real fan of the team, would look and agree with what we're saying here, which is like, just leave the coach in there. We're not going to get anything positive out of it. Just leave it and ride it out, because now by losing, you're left with the what if. You know what I'm saying? The what if. Well,
Sure.
what if we had left this guy in there? Maybe he could have done something, because that's a more likely what if than what actually happened. Like, oh, if we get rid of him and we put in this guy who's not going to be there, like, nah, just hot mess
Be
all
interesting
around.
to see what they do now moving into the next season. But you know, it's funny. They faltered. Tigres now in the semifinal. We talked about them being a mess over the past few weeks or past few months. But let's get to predictions. Wrap things up here.
Yeah.
Monterrey. Let's start with Monterrey and Tigres. Who do you have in that one?
I don't like Tigres. I'm not a Tigers fan. You know, Detroit's not one of my favorite cities. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going Monterrey, man. I gotta go. I'm going Monty. I like it. I'm still trying to see if they'll listen to me, maybe make me an honorary fan, you know, and send me some swag, but it's not working. So I'm gonna ride it till the end of the season here. If they don't, you know, hit me back, then I'll be done with them. I'll move on to the next one. Maybe Santos is looking for a new fan. So that's my pick. What do you got?
For me, I have to go Monterrey as well. I just can't see Tigres. We're gonna have the same ones, I think, this one, but I can't see Tigres winning it. I just can't see them coming out of this. I can't even. I just can't even visualize it in my head.
Wow. Okay. All right. So we're not getting any Tigres swag anytime soon. All right.
No.
What about the next game here? Chivas are they gonna make it for a chance to go for 14, or is Club America gonna go for 15?
I will stick with Club America because I have them win. I've said at the beginning before this all started that I think Club America could win it all. So I'm going to stick with Club America. I think they come out on top. I think they're the best team. I think they will win it all. But that's my prediction for this weekend for them, because I mean I just think they're the best team.
Okay. Solid. I'm going to go against the grain here, bro. I'm going with Chivas. I'm going to ride with my goats because I love goats. I love goats. That's one of my favorite animals. Baby goats especially. I've been wanting to do like have you seen that yoga that they do with the baby goats that they just like hop on you? You haven't seen this? Oh, it's like a thing. I saw it online. It's fantastic. They actually do it like a few miles, like up north from where I'm at. It's kind of far, but it's pretty cool. You do yoga, and then they have wild little baby goats just running around, and they hop on you while you're in like the different positions. It's fantastic. I love goats. So I'm going to go with Chivas, and that, you know, because of my exclusive research and diving into the numbers, I'm going with Chivas.
Yes, of course. Nothing to do with the goats. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. I mean, there you have it. We're not going to be, both of us are not going 2-0 again. Or not going to go 2-0 this week. One of us will lose. So we'll see who it is. We'll see if I can keep my perfect record intact over 2 weeks.
That guy's going to lose.
But yeah, I mean, that about wraps it up, I think. Anything else you want to touch on before we wrap up?
Nah, man. Solid show. We'll try and stay tuned on socials. Hit us up, follow us for our next. We're going to try and see if we get a Twitter space or some other type of live content coming up this week. But make sure you follow us on Twitter at 90min_US and at Instagram at 90min_USA. We're also on TikTok. We have a Facebook page that nobody knows about. So if you find us there, hit us up and we'll keep tabs. We'll have all the breaking news that happens on another. Maybe we have another day like today where we wake up to fantastic news. Maybe we'll have another big signing coming to the league pretty soon. Hopefully, we'll see. So any other, stay tuned. 90min.com/US also as well for all of our editorial stuff. So that's it, man. That's all I got. It's been fun, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, sounds good, you guys. Yeah, have a good one, and we'll see you guys later.
Adios, muchachos.